Hello everyone, today we are checking out Honeymoon, Deux Trois by Luca Kaneshiro. I'm excited to check this out. This is another cover we're checking out from him. Just to put this out there, at the time of recording this, I've already heard Luca's phony cover, but you guys won't see that reaction for a little bit. It'll be posted on my channel soon. But right now we're checking out Honeymoon. So this is a very recent release. This just came out not too long ago. So I'm excited to check this out. Luca's voice in phony was beautiful. He had this stellar vocal quality, and it always felt very full and satisfying to the ear. So I'm excited. I don't know the song, but Luca has impressed me thoroughly with his phony cover, and I'm ready to see what he's got this time. So without further ado, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. We've got this somber piano, and we've got a film reel, so already getting this nostalgic, sorrowful tone. And then, as you can tell from the title, this is very inspired by French music. So I got that city walking down the street feel. Ooh. I know we've just started, but I already want to highlight how well, not only Luca's voice, but also the instrumental is matching him perfectly. We've got this, we don't have any strong snares or bass drums that are interrupting the piano and his voice. The piano is hitting these scattered chords, but it's not interrupting with his melody. Even though it's a bit scattered and jumpy, that is the appeal. Ironically, the piano is playing the role of the drums that aren't there. We've got this constant cymbal ringing, but we don't have a harsh snare or toms or anything like that, and the piano is serving as that maintenance of rhythm for his vocals to go over. And his vocals, already just less than a minute in, he's already demonstrating that incredible quality I've noticed from Luca, where he transitions very smooth between lower bassier tones and higher pitches. So just here, we're going to go back a little bit. You can hear he's keeping this higher, soft, I don't want to say whispery, because it's not whispery, but it is very soft, and not ironically, it's not laid back at all. It's very forward facing. He's projecting his air very intentionally. It's not laid back like how he heard Enna and Roll That Dough. That was laid back and slowing down the air that's projecting. Luca's voice is he's attacking the notes, but it's very soft and intentional, and that's how you create an elegance to a vocal track. But let's keep going. We just started, and I'm already going hyper analytic on it. So let's keep going. You can hear how he's hitting those higher notes. He's changing his register, but it's very subtle. Usually there's a pretty stark contrast when you hear someone sort of switch from their abdominal voice to a kind of a throat, chest voice, a throaty voice, a head voice. Those are very distinct changes that you can hear, but he does that very smoothly. Let's go back a little bit. Listen to that. How he goes up and soft. Ooh. That was some vocal layering there. I want to go back again. Ooh, that was a nice harmonization there. And I want to point out there, because it might be a little hard, especially on a first listen, to notice if you're not specifically looking and paying attention to the instrumental. There are some nice woodwinds backing that up, and they come in very quietly. You don't even notice them before you're at this part, and you can hear the woodwinds in the back of the mix. They come gradually throughout this progression as he slowly lulls his voice up and up. Right here, you can hear the introduction of those, I believe those are woodwinds. You can hear them raising in pitch with him. As he goes up, the woodwinds also follow. Ooh, and another vocal layering up high, and it's his high voice here is very different from what we heard in Phony. In Phony, he was very clearly putting pressure on his throat to put attack and force into his high-intensity notes. Here, it's very soft, it's very relaxed, but it has emotion in it. That's how he's drawing out that emotion. He's putting intensity and then drawing back instead of following through. It's like when you're hitting a baseball, or maybe you're swinging a hockey stick. He's hitting it, but instead of following through up high, like he's leading into it and helping that note follow into the next note. And I know that's a very somewhat of a vague metaphor that might be a little hard to understand. I'm just kind of saying it how I'm hearing it. But if you listen to when he's hitting that high note with his vocal track and how it transitions to the next segment. Listen to that. It's so smooth. Nice. And I love this vocal layering here. Nice. And listen to that. The way these woodwinds are, I'm sorry if I'm mishearing this. I believe these are woodwinds. Maybe there's more brass tones in there. It's matching the swelling in his vocals perfectly. You can always hear the woodwinds, the instrumental. It always starts with a run. It's ba 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 ba. It's very, very reminiscent of French musical trends, French musical patterns that you see. But it's a very nice way to just back up a swelling. I mean, you see it in metal music. You see people when there's a big breakdown, you hear a drummer they hit the snare, but like I mentioned before, instead of using a snare or the toms to keep that relaxed tone, the instrumentation with the piano and the woodwinds, the brass, they're playing the role of that rhythm, that maintaining that rhythm, and then it just lets the vocals shine so much more. It's like a cappella, how you have background vocal tracks keeping the rhythm for the main vocalist. It's similar to that, except instead of vocal tracks, we're doing instrumentals, and then we're even layering more vocal tracks on top of that, so that we can have even more inflection and emotion. And this is such a beautiful song, especially for Luca's voice. I'm really loving how he's pulling this off. And as always, ooh, is that an oboe? I want to go back. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken, but that sounds a lot like an oboe. And the utilization of a color instrument like that is a perfect way to add that bit of twang. And it's something you hear very much in the style of music, is that twang that interrupts vocal segments, and it keeps this variation in the song. And I'm loving how this is being pulled off. I want to go back a little bit before that instrumental was introduced. Nice. And now here we're getting a very unique breakdown. this, if I'm not mistaken, this sounds like a clean guitar. I can't tell if this is a synth or a guitar, to be completely honest. It sounds perhaps more like a synth. But this type of sound could definitely be pulled off with the guitar as well, with the right effects. See, the way that note slid there, it makes me think of a guitar. Right there, that sounded like a guitar, but it could just be a synth with inflection on it. I'm loving this vocal layering on the low. I just want, his voice is so perfect for this instrumental, because every time his vocals are always full, they're always complete. There's never a part where he goes up high and it feels like we're missing on midtones or bass tones. He's always filling up the mix, so we don't need heavy drums, we don't need a heavy tone to make the mix feel like it has volume. And I don't mean volume in terms of how loud it is, I mean volume in terms of how rich it is and how dense the song is. Because obviously the song feels very airy, it feels bouncy, and that's the intention of it. I mean, it's literally called Honeymoon 1, 2, 3. It's very keeping that bum 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 bum. You've got the steady beat behind it, and my ear keeps getting hooked on those beautiful instrumentals that match his vocals when they swell. Like right here, just a little bit earlier. Like that. I love how they swell like that. Nice. Did you hear that? Obviously he was wonderful in the front of the mix, but did you hear him in the back of the mix there? That holding note in the back of the mix, that up high, it adds so much more than reverb or echo ever will. And I feel like that's something a lot of vocalists miss out on, is just utilizing more vocal tracks. Sometimes if you sing something and you feel like it doesn't fill up the track or fill up the segment you're singing in just right, you don't necessarily need to spend hours getting your EQ to make it echo or reverb just how you want it. Sometimes all you need is just a supporting vocal track that fills up that part of the mix. And this is a beautiful example of how to do that. Nice. Ooh, listen to that emotional inflection there. Yes, that was awesome. Ooh. Ooh. That was beautiful. A great way to add that emotion to it. He added that emphasis, that power, but it wasn't power and it wasn't loud or overly dramatic. It was painful, sorrowful. It's reminiscent. And then right after that emotion, he's cutting his words short. He's going un, deux, trois. It's not un, deux, trois. It's un, deux, trois. It's cut short. He's catching himself. That's a beautiful awareness of not only the lyrics, but as well as where you are in the song, as well as what you did is surrounding the line you're currently singing. That's a beautiful, beautiful way to add emotion to such a beautiful, steady song. Because honestly, the rhythm of the song doesn't change that much. It's a very steady pace that we're keeping, but that emotional inflection is what makes the variation in the song. It's what makes it powerful. It's what makes the song impactful. And man, Luca is pulling that off beautifully. nice. And even when he's singing that line, the sweetest song line, he's singing that with I don't want to say less energy, but I suppose that is a way to put it. It's less energy than when he sang it the first time, but it's more sorrowful, emotional. It's reminiscent, and it's a good way to reference past lines without doing the same thing over and over again. Because a lot of people, when they're composing music or when they're just covering music, they'll see, oh, this is the same verse as before. I'll just sing it the same way. Or it's sometimes even worse, they'll just copy what they did the first time and paste it in the mix, which is a terrible decision, because that's just how you ruin your emotional ride that you're taking your audience on. And this is a beautiful way to just be aware of what you're doing in the song, aware of where you are in the song, what you're referencing, what the emotions surrounding the music are. I'm loving this. Ooh, nice. Sing it out. Vocal layering now. And now that we've got this vocal layering right after, so he's doing the sweetest song part again. We got that. It was sad. It was low, and then now we've got this much more projection, and we've got multiple vocal tracks doing the same thing, but well, not the same thing. It's doing the same lines, but they're backing each other up. It's perfect. I like that bump in the back of the instrumental, right there. I think those are the keys, the piano. That's just hitting those top keys and then just sliding down really quick. Seems like that was the end. It's a nice fade out. All right, that was the end. Man, I feel like I feel like out of breath. I feel like I loved this cover. It's very pleasant to the ear, and I feel like a lot of music that follows those that French aesthetic, that you see in a lot of French music. It's very bouncy, and there's no real loud percussion. It's very soft. It's jittery almost percussion. You can hear that with the tambourines and the shakers. It's very smooth, and I think Luca understood that very well when he sang this. I'm extremely happy with this, and I'm super glad I checked this out, because this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free, as always, to recommend more in the comments below, and I will see them next time. Or, see you next time. Goodbye.